All right, so we're going to continue on these episodes on TEACS 3C, which is writing linear functions on the coordinate plane of identified key features, including x-intercepts, y-intercepts, zeros, slope, and mathematical and real-world problems. Okay, on this question from 2018, it asks which line or which graph appears to have the x-intercept of -5 and the y-intercept of 3. Now, I'm going to remind you, the x-intercept is where it crosses the x-axis, x-intercept, x-axis, and the y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. Now, we can look at our answers by either looking at the y-intercept or even the x-intercept. I'm going to go ahead and look at the x-intercept just because it comes first. If you want to try the y-intercept, that's fine. So that means I'm going to be looking at the x-axis, and I'm going to look at that point. The -5 is going to be at -5, 0, because where it crosses the x-axis is when y is equal to 0. Okay, well, if I look at letter F, the point -5, 0 is there that I've marked. My graph does not go through that line or that point, so that means that that is not an answer choice. Same with H. So if I look at H, my line is like nowhere near -5, 0, so that does not have the x-intercept of -5. So now let's look at G. G at the point -5, 0, that has an x-intercept of -5. So that works. Let's look at J. J does not have an x-intercept of -5, so that does not work. By process of elimination, it has to be G, but let's check. We want to check and look at our y-intercept. And our y-intercept has a has a 3, 0, or rather 0, 3, 0, 3. This is -5, 0. So that one matches both of those. It has an x-intercept of -5, a y-intercept of 3, so our answer choice is G. All right, let's look at number 17. Number 17, you just kind of have to reason through and understand what's happening here. Okay, so a lifeguard earns $320 per week for 40 hours plus $12 per hour. Okay, well, we understand that that would be the equation. Y is equal to, say, 40x plus 12. We understand that idea. But the problem is that it's asking us not for an equation like this. It says the lifeguard can work a maximum of 60 hours per week. So it can't work any hours over 60. But then it says which graph represents that window for H hours over 40. So we're not looking at 40x plus 12, okay? We're looking at that 12 where we're looking y is equal to 12x plus 320. So we have a different equation. We have a different scenario for the situation. Okay, so now looking at my graphs and looking at my answer choices, if I look at the hours, so F has 0 to 20 or 0 to 30, okay? H has, both F and G have 0 to 30. H and J have 0 to 60, okay? We're not looking at from 0 to 60, we're looking at 40 to 60, or those number of hours over 60. So that means that my y-intercept is going to be different from starting at 0. And that means that my window that I want to look at is going to be different. So H and J both have a y-intercept starting at 0. We're not going to be starting at 0 because, look back up here, when we say we earn $320 per week for working 40 hours, and then $12 for overtime, or basically over 40 hours. They're working overtime. Over 40 hours is overtime. So we want to look at, well, we've already earned $320, so that's our y-intercept. So that's going to change. So that means that H, which has a y-intercept of 0, and J, which also has a y-intercept of 0, those aren't going to be our answer choices. And also, if you notice, the graph ends at 40 hours. So that's letting us know that's what we earned from 0 hour to 40 hours a week. We want to look at over 40 hours. So now let's look at F and G. Okay, so if we got 40 and then 50 and then 60. 40, 50, or 50 and then 60. So that matches. So we both of these work in terms of the number of hours. So I need to figure out, well, what is my slope? And what does my slope need to be in order to work out for this equation? Okay, so my slope, when we talked about it up here, because we're earning $12 per hour, our slope needs to be 12. Okay, so our slope needs to be $12. Now, if I look at these and I pick a point, and I got that point there, that's a point, perfect point, and that point right there is a perfect point. So I know I have the point 0 and then 320, because we said it starts at 320. And then my other point is going to be here at 10 and then 400. Now, if I work this out, this ends up having a slope of 8. So that's not going to work in terms of our equation. So it has to be G by process of elimination, but let's talk it through. So again, we have a initial starting value at 0, 320. And then we have another perfect point there at 15,500. And if I do my rise over run, so 500 minus 320 divided by 15 minus 0, that's going to end up working out to be simplifying to be 12. And that works. That is our slope, $12 per hour. All right? Hopefully that helps work that through. I tried to do that a little fast. If I went through that too fast, just let me know, and I can maybe do some explaining, or you have any more questions on that one. Let's see if I can do a quick question. Let's see. Let's look. Number 2, same teak. So we're looking at which ordered pair best represents the location of the y-intercept. Okay, the y-intercept is going to be at when x is 0. So we're going to eliminate f and we're going to eliminate j. All right. Well, then it says y-intercept, we have our choices. So we have a y-intercept is where it crosses the x-axis. Y-axis, thank you. And it crosses the y-axis there at -2. So our answer choices are a y-intercept of -2 or positive 1/3. Positive 1/3 is up here. So it definitely is not crossing the y-axis there at 1/3. So just understanding that lets you know that G has to be your answer choice. But that point where it intercepts there, that is 0, -2. So that works out as well. All right. I'm going to go ahead and end this video, and then I'll do the next question in the next video. See you later.